Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. In this Watch Your Runs video, we'll be discussing how to best beat stage 12 of the Trial of the Northerners. Before you decide to encounter this stage 12, there are going to be some heroes that you are going to need. There's no question on that. One is because you need to meet the condition that you need to deploy 3 mages. So we need to build Shamir for this. There's no way around it, at least not right now. Maybe in the future, if this faction gets more mages, then we can you can avoid building Shamir if at all possible. But he is somewhat needed for this stage. The other one is going to be Valkyra. There's no way that you're going to beat this without Valkyra. You're just going to need her, okay? So besides meeting the condition and getting a Valkyra, this is the rest of the roster that I decided to use for this particular stage. Okay, so I am going to bring in 3 tanks. If you do not have King Hearth and you want to bring a Broker, perfect, that'll work for you. If you don't have Broker and you want to bring Abilene, she might actually help you out in this regard. I'm going to tell you right now, one of the things that I found out a little bit difficult was meeting the stat thresholds that I needed to beat this stage without King Hearth. So I'm going to show you how exactly I then took the strategy to beat it. And then hopefully if you don't have somebody like King Hearth or Elder, then hopefully you can try to get your builds to do the damage that you're going to need to do to beat this stage. So let me go ahead and start the clip here, and I'm going to point to you, how much damage about you're going to need to get Nocturne and Valkyra to do to beat this stage. So you can see here on the bottom of the platform, I'm going to put Valkyra down here. Regardless of the build that you are going to use on her, what you want to make sure of is that this tank initially by her basics is being hit by around 35,000 and above. Okay, that's the threshold that you are going to be looking for. Eventually over time, because of the artifact that I am using, then she will do a little bit more damage, and of course when then I use her ultimate, I am getting into the 60s range. And once that threshold is met, you'll have an easier tank bringing down these tanks that are going to come down here and try to destroy you. The other one that I'm going to that we need to focus on in building and make sure that he has the appropriate amount of damage is Nocturne. Remember, we need 3 mages, so he has to be part of this as well. So my 3 mages are going to be Nocturne, Mary, and Shamir. So I am using Mary kind of a cheat here on this platform just to slow these minions down a little bit and try to give Nocturne the opportunity to bring these shields down. While his ultimate is activating, you want to make sure that you're doing about 220,000 damage to these units, so you can have the opportunity to bring them down effectively and within the time range that you need to do it before they get to this core. So you can see mine are doing about 183, 184. If you can get into the 200 range, it'll become much easier to clear these waves. So as I was telling you here, now we have enough of if we had enough time to charge the ultimate on Valkyrie, on Valkyra, so now we can take down these things a lot easier. So now that I have this kind of cleared out for the moment, I'm going to start building this setup over here. So that includes placing Oleg right here to stop the units from coming to this core. Vortex is going to be my healer, and Shamir is going to be standing on the platform here right behind Olaf. Oleg, and he is going to be the one that is going to be doing the damage on these units. Now, don't be thinking that, oh my god, Shamir is OP for this. He's needed. He's necessary evil, and he has enough damage in his kit to bring down all these units that are coming down here while our tank holds them up. Down here too, I am going to be bringing in a Maul, and that's essentially just to slow anything that comes down here. Just trying to do that extra damage just to help Shamir out a little bit if at all possible, to try to bring the shields down and make sure that our tank can sustain. So all I give my preference, everybody should have them, especially if you've cleared the Void Rift. So that shouldn't be a problem for stage 12 to have that particular unit in. So as you can see, Shamir is doing a phenomenal job, and Oleg as well, in terms of bringing these minions down. Now the next area that is really going to be a concern is going to be all these, I think it's 6 of them, 5 or 6 minions that are going to come down from this portal, because you're going to need to bring them down. And if your Valkyra is equipped correctly, built correctly to do enough damage to these tanks, you can see her ultimate in that 60,000 getting into the 90,000 ranges. She's going to be able to bring all of this down. Once you have the wave with the 6 tanks clear out, you can recall Valkyra back, and then we're going to be able to use her here at the end. Like I told you, all these are going to be coming down, so I'm going to be using Mary to kind of slow things down a little bit. I can start using Nocturne's ultimate to bring these units down. And as you saw here, down here too, Maul died when those tanks came out because of the shield. It wasn't a big deal, and you'll see why. If he wouldn't have died, I would have recalled him anyway. So the fact that he died was actually a favor. So as you can see here, I'm trying to slow things down with Mary as much as possible, so Nocturne has the time to do some damage to those shields. And before they get too close to me, or I'm not sure if I was able to recall her in time, but I just wanted to slow the minions down. And I'm also using here the healer Medan to make sure the Nocturne stays upright. So here you can see that he's trying to do as much damage as possible, and I was also trying to give him time to regenerate his rage. Since that wasn't really happening as easily as I wanted it to, I decided to bring him Maul over here, okay, to just slow these guys down so Nocturne had a chance to bring him down. You saw me here place a Soldier. She didn't sustain as much as I wanted her to. Then I brought in King Hars, just as that 3rd tank that I was telling you about, just to give Nocturne enough time. Now I give Nocturne and here Maul enough time to build a rage so I could bring those down. And then at the same time, now let me reverse that, because there was a lot of stuff going on here. There was a lot of stuff going on here. So let me back up a little bit. Okay, so while I was trying to maintain all of this, I had to keep an eye here on the left side, because you see all of this coming down. And when Valkyra was available to be placed, I think I placed her right after Maul. So yeah, I know I'm reversing this, so just keep that in mind. So right here, right after I was trying to put all of this down, I decided I'm going to put Valkyra down here so she can help Shamir with all of this that is coming down here. And I'm also going to try to slow these minions down so Nocturne can help us in bringing him down. Soldier did enough of a good job to slow things down, and King Hars was able to maintain them right in front here, allow Nocturne and Maul to build the rage. So then I activated it here, and I think you all saw how close Ola came to being brought down, but Valkyra was there to not only revive him but also do the damage that we needed to complete that. So we deployed the 3 mages, we beat everybody, we got it all cleared, and that is stage 12 of the Northerners. All right, let me show you the builds. Okay, let me here start with Valkyra, and like I said, you may need to do a better build than this if you don't have King Hearts or Elder, just to get that additional boost that you're going to need to do damage to the particular tanks that you had to roll out. So as you can see here, I had around 17,000 attack and 280 speed, 284 critical damage, and she was crit capped. Again, without King Hearts, I was not doing enough damage without this build. So just putting a Soldi as the lead. So I think I either needed a little bit more crit damage, or I needed a little bit more of a boosted artifact. I think that a 25 artifact would have helped me immensely in this for her build. So I didn't have that. So that's, I think that's what hindered me a little bit of not being able to do it without King Hearts. But if you can do it and you can improve this build, you can possibly do it without King Hearts. Nocturne, I put him in a Night Terror set. I think that if you have an Inferno set or an Ageless, I think that he would actually do better with that, so I would try that. You can see he's around 17,000 attack, 343 speed, 308.5 crit damage, and he is crit capped. Again, the artifact was the Tear of Twilight, and Valkyra had the Frigid Flame, which actually increases her damage as long as she's not being damaged, and of course that's what it was. So I tried Frigid Flame, I tried Crystal, what was is called now Wailing's Call. That wasn't doing a good job. I tried the what's it called now? It used to be Void Gazer. I think you know which artifact I'm going to be talking about. The one that gives her the boost in damage to units that are further away. That also was not doing it for me, and mine is at 16. So, but once I put the Frigid Flame on her, that it started increasing her damage based on her not taking damage at all. That did the trick. So just play around with the artifacts that you have and see what type of damage you can get her to do without King Hearts if you don't have him, or if you don't have Elder. All right, Shamir, I gave him the Tome of Horror, which is he's supposed to be slowing down units. So here he just gets additional attack speed and rage regen on slow targets. That's essentially what it is. So he's good for that. Again, I gave him a Night Terror set that I had 16,000 attack, about 262 crit damage. He wasn't crit cap, but this was one of the best. This is an alternative Night Terror set that I had, so I decided to use it on Shamir. King Hearts as a pluses set, just to give him that extra boost. We didn't use him a lot. It's just him to tank those really heavy damage units, and I give him as much HP and defense as possible. The other hero that I used here was Mary. My main concern with her is just to make sure that she had enough attack speed so she could slow those units down for me. So I think I put an attack speed amulet on her to get me to the 440 stages, and she had a total ring artifact. Medan, standard build for Medan with a lot of HP to make sure that she was able to maintain my Nocturne on that second wave that was coming out from the top right. Maul, what do I have him in? A fatality set, okay, to ignore defense and magic resistance. He wasn't crit cap, but he had about 12,000 attack with 254.5 critical damage, and as you saw me, I primarily used him to slow things down a little bit, but that extra damage also came in handy. Vortex had the invigorating set on him to give us a little bit of a boost on damage, and he had enough HP to make him a competent healer. Oleg, I had him in the glacier set, so I was hoping that he could contribute a little bit of damage to that, but it was essentially just to make him tank. A Soldi, yeah, you said that the 5,000 or so defense was not enough, but she helped me in terms of slowing things down, so she just has random gear on her. I just needed to hold those waves down as much as I could. And all right, so that is how we clear stage 12 of the faction trials for the Northerners. If you did like this content, remember, please hit like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time on the next Watcher of Realms video.
Together, we are the shield.